You know that feeling when your dog hears a treat bag from 3 rooms away, but somehow your business is invisible on Google? At SearchHound, your marketing companion, we help businesses get found online so customers don't have to go digging. From SEO to Google business profiles to showing up in AI search results, we help the right people find you right when they're looking. So whether you own a business or you know someone who could use more leads, point them in the right direction. Visit searchhoundseo.com and let's get your business on the set.
And love has many faces. See it in the eyes that look right into your soul. Love has many faces. Proud and humble, beautiful and plain, and young and old.
Well, hello and welcome to Love Has Many Faces. I am your host, Marilyn Milano. We're here on Alternative Talk 1150. And we have another first-time guest today who I am so pleased is here. Her name is Emily Arias, and she has recently organized a 501c3 in memory of one of her beautiful dogs. We're going to learn more about that in just a bit. So please stay tuned. And just a couple reminders, if it's a first time for you, if you've not listened to us before, we can be found Tuesday mornings from 9 to 9:30 on Alternative Talk 1150 on the airwaves, or you can visit the website and stream it, or we are now podcasting. So if you type in Love Has Many Faces podcast in the search bar, the browser, it should take you to Apple or Spotify or one of the podcast platforms. And you can also generally find it wherever you listen to your own favorite podcast. So just a reminder that they will stay up there and they will be there if you want to go back and share with people, or if you have questions or somebody comes in the middle and wants to know what was going on. So anyway, that's just important to know. We are here to raise awareness, touch hearts, and save the lives of animals. And in doing so, we help their people. So do stay with us. We will be back after a short pause with our guest, Emily Arias. I'm Marilyn Milano, your host of Love Has Many Faces here on Alternative Talk 1150.
You know that feeling when your dog hears a treat bag from 3 rooms away, but somehow your business is invisible on Google? At SearchHound, your marketing companion, we help businesses get found online so customers don't have to go digging. From SEO to Google business profiles to showing up in AI search results, we help the right people find you right when they're looking. So whether you own a business or you know someone who could use more leads, point them in the right direction. Visit searchhoundseo.com and let's get your business on the set.
This is Martha Norwalk. Every Sunday morning, beginning at 9 a.m., thanks in part to NewProSupplements.com, we cover the world of animals. This week, June 14th, it's our energy balancing show, and best practitioner and energy codes gal, Linda Rasmussen, will join us. We'll take your phone calls, and Linda will help you or your animal friends with emotional, behavioral, or physical issues. I hope you can join us and plan to call in for your free remote treatments. Martha Norwalk's Animal World, Sunday morning, 9 a.m. to noon, right here on Alternative Talk, AM 1150.
Real people, real life, real radio. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Love Has Many Faces, and I'm Marilyn Milano, your host, and we are here with our first-time guest, Emily Arias. Emily, welcome, and thank you for taking time to join us today.
Hi, Marilyn. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm really happy to be here and to be able to talk about Koda and our new nonprofit, Koda's Legacy Foundation.
Yes, and I'm really anxious for more people to hear about this too, because it certainly sounds wonderful from what I know about this from having talked with you a little bit before. So why don't we start with just how this came to be, Koda's story, the cancer journey, your special bond, and how what happened with him inspired the creation of this foundation.
Yeah, of course. So just to kind of let you know what Koda's Legacy Foundation is. So we are a brand new 501c3 nonprofit, and we provide financial assistance to Washington state families whose dogs have been diagnosed with cancer. So our goal is basically to just help bridge the financial gap associated with canine cancer treatment through grant funding, so families can focus on caring for their dog and making the most of their time together. So that's what we're here for. And what inspired this was my soul dog, Koda. Koda was my soul dog. And if you're lucky enough to have one, you know that a soul dog is more than just a dog who shares your life. They change it. They're your comfort, your safe space, their home. That feeling you get when you're home, that's what they are. The bond with a soul dog is a connection that feels written into your heart and your soul. They walk beside you through life's highs and lows, knowing exactly what you need, even when you don't know what you need. And that's exactly what Koda was. He wasn't a dog that needed grand adventures to be happy. Some of my favorite memories with Koda were the simplest ones: coffee and pup cup runs, car rides with nowhere to go, and quiet days at home. So we were our happiest just hanging out together. And to know Koda was to love him. He greeted everybody with his gentle spirit and his smile. He had the best smile. He taught me a lot of things. And he was there through some of the most important chapters of my life. He was a steady presence no matter what was happening around me. And I don't know if you've heard of the term butterfly effect, but if you have, I can say that without a shadow of a doubt that everything that I have in my life today is because I made that choice to get that beautiful blue-eyed husky puppy over 12 years ago. I never imagined how much one dog could change the course of my life, but that's exactly what a soul dog does, and that's what Koda did.
Well, it's wonderful. I mean, and some people will say they've had more than one soul dog. Other people, it's like there was one and that was special. But yes, there are some dogs with whom we have such an amazing connection. And I know from having spoken with you before, how much Coda meant to you and just what a wonderful relationship you had with him, because you have other dogs still, right?
I do. I still have other dogs. I actually have 9 other dogs at home, and many of them are descendants of Koda. So even though he's no longer with us, I still have pieces of him.
And that's lovely. I mean, and because do you do a mush team with your huskies? I'm just trying to recall.
I do. Yeah. So we do dryland mushing mostly because of where we live. We're not close enough to the snows, but we go out to the training areas on JBLM during the colder months and mush with them. And that's just what they were born and bred to do. And they just absolutely love it.
Yes, it's like some dogs are meant to have a purpose like that. I mean, the herding dogs, the racing dogs, and then some like the Cavaliers and so forth, they were bred to be lap dogs. But I mean, many dogs have their own special purpose, and it's so important also. And I like to share this. It's so important to match the dog that you're getting as close as you can with what your needs are too, so that it becomes a successful relationship. And if you're high energy, you probably want a high energy dog. If you're more of a sit at home and a couch potato cuddler, then that might be the pet for you. But obviously, you found your soul dog with Coda. Now, he was diagnosed with cancer. And tell me a little bit more about what happened with that and then how this inspired the creation of this foundation exactly.
Yeah. So Koda was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, which is a highly aggressive form of bone cancer, in May of 2025. It started with a limp that just didn't go away. And because he was up there in age, my mind thinks that it was just age related. But we did x-rays and we got the terrible news that it was cancer. And at the time of his diagnosis, we were given 2 options. So with bone cancer, you either amputate the leg or you keep them comfortable. And since Koda was 11 years old at the time of diagnosis, and being that he's a husky, they're born and bred to run. So I knew that in my heart of hearts that Koda would not be happy on 3 legs. So we decided to go the route of palliative care. and our goal was to keep him happy and comfortable for the remainder of the time we had left with him. We were given about 2 to 4 months at the beginning of his diagnosis, and I, of course, was that optimistic owner and hoped that my dog would be the exception to the rules and we would get many years, not just months. So for palliative care, it included taking him to the oncologist monthly for bone building infusions. It also included pain management and palliative radiation, which I took him to WSU Pullman for that. And I also managed to get him into a clinical trial, which involved driving him to Salt Lake City twice in the course of 3 weeks.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a lot in the very, very beginning. And one day I was sitting on the couch. We were about halfway through our cancer journey, and I decided to add up all the expenses from about those 3-4 months of treatment. And at that point, we had already surpassed about $10,000.
Oh, yes.
And we were very fortunate because when Koda was younger, I decided to get pet insurance for him. Mm-hmm. And we had never had to use it up until his cancer diagnosis. So we were fortunate because 90% of his treatment costs were covered. And that's when I got to thinking that if we didn't have insurance, there was no way that we would have been able to afford any of the treatment, or we would have gone into debt. But believe me, I still would have gone into debt for him.
Yes.
But there are many families out there that don't have pet insurance and can't afford treatment, or they may already be maxed out on their cards. Maybe they just had to make the choice to pay a bill or put food on the table. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of how the idea of Koda's Legacy Foundation was born. He was still with us. But it wasn't until after I lost Koda in December of 2025 that it went from an idea in my head to reality. I was absolutely devastated when he fractured his leg and we had to let him go. And I couldn't get out of bed.
No. And he was at WSU for treatments, right? And he'd have to jump, and then he hurt his leg, and then he couldn't be helped any further.
Yeah, we had gone for a second round of palliative radiation at WSU to help with the pain, because the months were getting colder and he was just in more pain. So he was up on the bed. We were getting ready to go home. I turned around and I looked at him and I said, "Are you ready to go home, buddy?" And he was so excited that he jumped off the bed, but he fell. And at that moment, he fell and his leg fractured.
Oh.
And that was so hard. And we spent the weekend with him. We had friends come say goodbye to him. And we let him go.
And that, I mean, there's so much that comes with a canine cancer diagnosis. I mean, first of all, it's fairly common from what I hear, and I've had dogs who've had cancer and passed away from it. And again, as you mentioned, the financial burden, even if you do have pet insurance, it depends what kind you have. It depends if there's been any pre-existing condition. And it can be so prohibitive. I am like you. I would probably have, gone and lived in my car rather than foregone the treatment. Yeah. But it's very hard on folks. And I know losing him was so hard for you. And I mean, there's the grief. There is, the feeling of, have I done everything right? What could I have done better? And all these things. As you know, I have volunteered with the Pet Loss Support Group from Seattle Animal Shelter for just about 20 years now. And so much of the experience, even though everyone's journey is their own and it's individual, a lot of times people feel guilt or they wonder if they did the right thing or should they have chosen option A or option B. And so I believe, like I believe you do, that if the financial burden can be reduced a little bit, it leaves you more time and more emotional space to decide on the treatment and to take the best care of your pet that you can.
Yeah, of course. And that's, I think, one of the biggest things is, and that's the heart of this foundation, is we really want to help families buy something that's priceless, and that's time. We, as dog lovers, we sign up for heartbreak essentially. We know that in most cases, we're going to outlive our dogs, and we know our time with them is never long enough. But cancer is a thief, and it already takes the already short time that we have with them and it steals it.
Yes.
So I'm hoping this foundation can help give families even a little bit more quality time with their beloved dogs.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if that's the case, then we have definitely accomplished our mission.
Well, absolutely. And I mean, I'm just going to stop here for a minute and give out the website for your organization. It is codaslegacyfoundation.org, and that's KODAS, no apostrophe, codaslegacyfoundation.org. Also can be found on Facebook under Coda's Legacy Foundation. And so tell us a little bit about, I mean, do you only offer funds for certain kinds of cancer? Is it for Washington residents only? What are the guidelines if someone is interested and might need your help?
Yeah, so it's going to be for Washington families only. And it's for all pet cancers. So any type of cancer. So it's not just limited to osteosarcoma, any type of cancer, lymphoma. There's so many cancers out there. And as you were mentioning earlier about dogs and cancer, the statistic is actually pretty staggering. It's 1 in 4 dogs will develop cancer in their lifetime. And that risk, once they hit over the age of 10 years old, increases to 1 in 2 dogs.
Oh,
So dogs are living longer. So that's, I mean, like you said, I have 9 dogs. So I look around and I'm just thinking, how many more times do I have to go through this?
right.
And it's
Right.
just so difficult.
Oh, I know. I have lost personally 11 dogs in my adult life. I've been around a little while. Um, each one has gutted me. I still can shed tears for those dogs that are gone. I have 2 dogs right now. I love them both with all my heart. I don't think there have ever been 2 better dogs. And yet, you never replace. You know, that's the thing. Your heart opens up and you bring in another animal to love, but they're never replaced. Each dog or cat, whatever your pet is, each has a story with you, and each will help write that story with you, and each story will be different. And I think that's important to keep in mind. But so what would, if someone's had, now is this just for canines or is it all other animals as well?
At this time, it's just for canines.
Okay, and perhaps it can expand if that's in the future, and if not,
In
if
the future, yes. Hopefully,
yes.
we can expand because, as we know, it's not limited to just dogs, it's cats and other animals as well.
Yes. No, that's totally completely true. So, so if someone were listening to this and their animal or the animal of somebody they know, their dog has been diagnosed, would they go to your website and then find information on how to contact you to apply for a grant?
Yes. So, our website has the grant policies and policies and guidelines on our website. So, right now, as I mentioned, it's only for Washington state residents. Families must provide a written treatment estimate from their treating oncologist or veterinary provider, provide written documentation of a confirmed cancer diagnosis. And there's an application right on our website that they would fill out and submit to us. And we hope to get back to people within 2 to 5 days with an answer, as long as funds are available. And we will be paying the vets directly.
Okay. And that makes good sense. I mean, you know, you want the money to go directly, and most people are going to be honest, but if anybody is concerned, knowing that your funds are going directly to the vet and that there's not any risk of, you know, any kind of mistakes or perhaps not being 100% upfront about what's going on, this will take care of that. And a lot of people do feel more comfortable with that. Now, um, I am just thinking through this. It's so hard when your pet has been diagnosed. And I think that like I know when I had a dog that was diagnosed with cancer, unfortunately it was non-metastatic and I had insurance and I also did a GoFundMe. I was embarrassed, but I did a GoFundMe because I didn't have enough to cover it. It was $10,000 also. And but at the time when I was looking at other places to apply, there were a lot of restrictions. And again, I'm sure that's on the website, but you had to be under a certain income, and there were some groups in other states. So I love the fact that this is for Washington people because it does reduce the number of people competing for that. And I'm because so many dogs get cancer right now, what does your foundation need the most? Obviously, sponsors, donations are good, but I mean, what would you tell people that are thinking, I want to help? How can they help you?
So the biggest thing, like you said, is going to be donations, but also something that is important is sharing our mission, letting people know that we're here and that we're ready to help. So just sharing who we are, and we are hoping to have some more volunteer opportunities come up. We had our first community event last month in Auburn at the Pet Palooza, and that was our very first event, and it was amazing. And one of the things that really stood out to me was how well received we were. So many people stopped to share their stories.
Mm.
I expected to talk about Koda and the foundation, but what happened was people started telling us about their own dogs and their cancer journeys and the challenges that they faced. And honestly, that day, many tears were shed. We hugged people, and it just reinforced to me that there is such a need for this because nearly every single person that I spoke with shared some aspect of the financial hardship they faced
Yes.
treating their dogs for cancer.
Yes. And there's nothing more frustrating. And we see this with human medicine too. People that can't afford their medications, prices have gone so crazy, so out of control. And you hear of families that are deciding whether to buy food or to get insulin. And I mean, people who truly, truly love their animals, and they don't want to make a choice that is going to harm their animal, and they want to do everything they can. We want to do everything we can for our beloved family member. And so knowing that there are people out there that can help, and as you said, being able to share stories, I think that personal connection is really important. Hopefully, those people will tell others. But there was a saying that went around in one of the rescue groups. I can't even remember who said it first, but it was like, okay, if you can't adopt, foster, if you can't foster, volunteer, if you can't volunteer, donate, if you can't donate, at least share an email or share information. And so for people who might want to help but feel they're tapped out or they're already giving to a bunch of groups and what can they do, certainly just spreading the word about this, putting a post on the Facebook page, telling friends, keeping their ears open in case anyone's dog has been diagnosed and to let them know that you are there. And so, I mean, all of that is so important. And the other thing that I heard a lot from folks too is that, well, I'd like to give, but I'm strapped. I can only give $5. That seems like an insult. And I've heard other rescue groups say, a lot of their foundation is built on hundreds of people giving $5 a month or, lots of small donations adding up. So I would say whatever people are encouraged to give, it's never too small. Everything is appreciated and everything counts.
Exactly. No donation is ever too small. And in the end, every dollar donated, every story shared, every connection that we make is helping us give families something that's incredibly valuable, and that's more time with the dogs that they love.
Oh, absolutely. So we're almost, I always say this probably every time. People probably think I rehearse that, but I am always surprised how quickly the conversations go when it is about topics that are important and touching and, so personal to so many people. But we have another minute or so. And so do you have any last ideas, suggestions, requests, anything that you would like for our listeners to know or to leave with today?
Yeah, it's just that I want people to know that Koda's Legacy Foundation isn't something that we're hoping to build. We're here. We're here today. We're growing. We're building partnerships, and we're ready to support families and their dogs facing canine cancer. So if you're going through this journey, please reach out. You don't have to do it alone.
That's so important, and so many people just don't know that. And thank goodness for folks like you who are doing these kinds of things and taking a sad uh, event in life and turning it into something that will help many others. So, Emily, thank you so much for joining us today. It was wonderful to have you here. Um, I
Thank
will
you,
keep
Marilyn.
Koda in my heart,
Thank
and
you.
we will keep sharing and spreading the word. And perhaps we can have you back again down the road, and you can let us know how things are going.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love to share our future with you all. And hopefully, by the time we talk next, we'll have helped many dogs because that's going to be our goal.
That sounds fantastic. All right, we've been talking with Emily Arias. She is the founder, creator of Koda's Legacy Foundation, KODAS legacyfoundation.org, helping Washington state dogs facing any type of cancer and helping with financial support. So wonderful to have you here. We're going to take a very short break. We'll come back to wrap things up in just a moment. I am Marilyn Milano, your host of Love Has Many Faces here on Alternative Talk 1150.
Hi, this is Marilyn Milano, your host of Love Has Many Faces. The music that you're hearing during this show every week is exclusively original music from my own CDs. If you're enjoying it and would like to order a copy of one of my 2 CDs for yourself or as a gift, just go to marilynmilano.net and you can order directly from the website. I give a portion of every sale back to animal rescue because that's part of the whole cause. Thank you for listening and thanks for your support.
Self-help, healing, spirituality, and more on Alternative Talk 1150.
Well, welcome back to Love Has Many Faces. If you didn't catch the whole conversation, please check out our podcast on Love Has Many Faces podcast. You can type that in. This is with Emily Arias, the founder of Koda's Legacy Foundation, providing financial and emotional support to folks who are facing a cancer diagnosis for their dog. This is for Washington state people, and any kind of cancer will be considered. So more information on their website about that. Just another reminder that we're here to raise awareness, touch hearts, and save the lives of animals. And in doing so, we're helping their people. So thank you for joining us. Until next week, I'm Marilyn Milano, your host of Love Has Many Faces here on Alternative Talk 1150.